Here it is. Had to work hard for that.
Bernhard Langer, 43rd U.S. Senior Open champion. How does it feel?
Feels awesome. It's been a long time coming, but very, very happy. Never thought it would happen at a U.S. Senior Open, but I'm very thrilled that the record of 46 wins happened this week. It's certainly one of the greatest tournaments we ever compete in, and to beat this field where everybody was here, especially Stricker and Kelly on their home grounds, is a very special feeling. Very grateful.
We're going to open up for your questions on your right.
Congratulations, Bernhard. You talked about your faith on the 18th green. Can you talk about how it helped you through some of the tougher moments today?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reading my Bible every day and certain devotions, and just realized the last 30 years that I'm not in control, and everything I've been given is a gift from God, and I try to play to the audience of one, which is Him. I'm not too concerned about people, even though I love Him and I care about Him and I want to entertain Him. But the key is to have a grateful attitude, a thankful attitude, because I have so many reasons to be grateful and thankful for. And there's many great Bible verses. The book of Philippians is one of my favorites, and talks about do not be anxious. Well, we're all anxious playing golf, I think, to some extent. There's certain shots we don't feel totally comfortable or confident about, so it's always a good reminder. And I felt that special peace today, early on, where I just was very calm. You think under the circumstances of playing the United States Senior Open and maybe setting a record of 46 victories and playing against Stricker and Kelly and all the other greats of Ernie Els and Goosen and on you go, you'd think you'd be extremely nervous. And I was somewhat nervous, but a lot calmer than I have been many other times.
Over here on your left.
Congratulations, Bernhard. Talk a little bit more about knowing the Wisconsin native sons were behind you, and did you feel it all the weight of Wisconsin on the last three?
Well, I knew it was going to be a tough day just because Steve Stricker, has been in top form. He's winning basically every time he tees up, or he's thereabouts. And I knew he would want to have his streak going of 3 majors in a row. And I knew he was going to give it all. And the same with Jerry Kelly. He's one of the best ball strikers, very underrated golfer. And I knew he would do well because he is one of the straightest hitters, and that was the key this week, I think, was hitting the fairways. If you could keep it out of the cabbage, you had a chance. And I think that's one of the reasons I did so well. I didn't hit it in the rough very often, and took many 3-woods off the tees at times, but then I had to hit 3-wood into the green or a very long club. But I'd rather do that than hit driver and wedge it out from the rough. So it was not easy, and my age probably showed up towards the end. I lost concentration a little bit there, and finished with 3 bogeys. Well, I mean, the last hole was a bogey on purpose almost. I wasn't, I was aiming way right. I knew there wasn't much trouble, and then I had a very long putt, and I told my caddy, I'm going to leave this short, so I don't want to go down the hill and bring double into play or more. So it was pretty much a bogey on purpose, but the other 2 were just, poor putts. I was twice unlucky where the ball just rolled into the fairway bunker, and I made 2 bogeys that way, but that's how it is out here.
We're going to stay on your left.
Bernhard, we were just out with you when you were taking pictures of the trophy and the flowers, and you kneeled down, and then all of a sudden you said, can somebody help me up? I thought that was awesome. But with what you're doing, maybe it relates to Gary's question with your faith, do you feel like an inspiration, and are you human?
I'm very human. I got 2 bad knees, for those of you who don't know, and it hurts bending down and staying down. You know, when I have dinner and I sit for an hour or something and get up, it's hard to get up. It's just been that way for a number of years. And reading putts is very difficult because I figured I'm bending down 200 times a day, or for 18 holes at least. And that's a lot of bending down. And then I read that if you go downhill, like from a tee box, you go down the hill, it's 20 times your body weight. So for an easy math, if you're 200 pounds, it's 4,000 pounds on the knee joint when you walk downhill. Imagine how many times I've walked downhill in the last 50 years on tour. So the body's taking a beating, no doubt about it, and I feel it just like everybody else. But I got good news. I have a mother that's going to be 100 on August 4th, so I think I have good genes, and hopefully I'll be around a few more years.
On your right,
Can you talk about how important it was to get off to that fast start with the 2 birdies, and then on 5 to keep it going from a kind of a funky lie there in the mud?
Yeah, that was the shot of the week for me. It was great to birdie the first 2 again like I did yesterday, which are not easy holes. But somehow I managed. And my second shot on 5 was as good as yesterday. I absolutely hit it the way I wanted to. I wasn't even concerned. And then I asked my caddy, where is it? He says, I think it hit a rock or it's short. And I was actually in shock almost because it just took off out of the middle of the club face. But as we came around that island of trees, the breeze was definitely into me. I thought the breeze was more left to right. That explained why it came up, 3 or 5 yards short. But as I got there, the ball was sitting a little bit in water and mud. And so I immediately said, I'm going to play this. I just got to hack it out on the green somehow and get away with par, hopefully. And turned out I played a brilliant shot. I hit it to about 4 feet or some 3.5 feet and made birdie and actually increased my lead, and which it could have gone the other way.
we're going to stay on your right.
Bernhard, you mentioned yesterday wanting to have a lead just to give you some of that cushion. Starting off and getting that lead and extending it early, how much comfort did that kind of give you in the middle of the round, knowing that the guys behind you had a lot of work to do to get to where you were?
Oh, it definitely gives you comfort because you know you don't have to push for birdies. You can play sometimes to the middle of the green and make pars, and if you make pars, you're not losing anything, which is a general rule at a U.S. Open. But when you have a 6-shot lead or something like that, it's definitely true. So I didn't know where I stood till I came to the 10th hole, I think, or the 11th hole, and then I saw a leaderboard somewhere and looked up and saw that I had a 6-shot lead. And so then my goal was to get through 12 and 13, the 2 water holes. So I took a club less on 12 to make sure I'm not going over the green. Made a great par. And 13, I hit it really close. Should have made birdie, but I didn't. So that was very encouraging to get through those 2 holes with actually a birdie chance. And just played really solid from that on. I 3-putted, 15? 16. 16, I 3-putted, really shouldn't have from nowhere. And then 17, I hit a good tee shot, rolled just into the bunker. And again, from there, you don't want to take on the flag and maybe go in the water long. So I played it up front and then 3-putted again from just off the green. But I knew my cushion was big enough I was hoping in the morning to have a 2 or 3-shot lead coming down 18. And that's what I had. So I could afford making bogey and still feel comfortable.
Over here on your left.
Yep.
The USGA kind of took a chance coming to the middle of Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, to a smaller market.
I'm glad they did.
How did the golf course hold up, Century World?
Oh, I was just saying to several people, it's one of the best golf courses I've ever played. Condition of the golf course was fabulous all week long. Beautiful fairways, great greens. The ball rolled really nice. Bunkers were good. Rough was a bit juicy, but it's the same for everybody, and it's a U.S. Open. So my hat's off to the greenkeeping staff, to the owners of Century World, and they got a jewel here. It's a really beautiful spot.
Over on your right.
Congratulations. You've won a number of majors on the senior tour, the Champions Tour, and the regular tour. I know it's probably hard, but how would you rate this one?
Well, it's certainly up there. Obviously, my 2 Masters wins probably still mean more because it was on the regular tour, but I wish I had won the British Open. I had plenty of chances and just couldn't do it at some point. But having won more majors on this tour than anybody, even Jack Nicklaus or Arnold Palmer or Lee Trevino or Gary Player, you name them all, that's incredible. And now to add one more at age, I'm almost 66, so my caddy just told me the average age of the U.S. Senior Open winner is 52. And here I am almost 66. So the odds were definitely stacked against me. But I don't always go by odds and what's written on paper. The golf ball doesn't know how old we are, and we do the best we can.
On your left here.
As we get older, we think more about history, at least some of us. And when you talked about your Masters wins and now you have 2 U.S. Senior Open wins, it's only Nicklaus, Player, and you. I don't know what that means to you or if you look at history that way.
Well, it means a lot. Whenever, your name is mentioned with these guys, Nicklaus, Player, whatever, Palmer, Trevino, many others, it means you've done something very special because they were extremely great champions and legends of the game. And I'm very fortunate to be mentioned amongst them.
I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all. Thank you.